My sunshine has come, and I'm all cried out, and there's no more rain in this cloud. We lost Angie Stone. We lost a couple of people this week under some strange circumstances. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 19 of Take Me Down a Rabbit Hole. And what a rabbit hole it is. So welcome and welcome back to those who are joining us for the first time. Welcome to those who come every night. I'm great and happy to see you again. So you already know how I do it. We like to get started on time. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. It's been some weird things going on. Yeah, I agree. It went by way too quick. And speaking of, yeah, my car went out on me as well. Well, I don't know if yours went out on you, but mine went out on me. I had to get a whole new car. So, but it's been good. It's been good. I hope everybody is well. But like I said, we're gonna jump right into it. So, if you don't know, if you're not into R&B music and soul music and things like that, hello. How are you doing? We lost a singer by the name of Angie Stone. March 1st, I believe, is when she passed. She was coming back from a concert in Montgomery, Alabama. And they said that she got hit by got hit by an 18-wheeler and flipped over a few times. And although there were 9 passengers in the van, she was the only one to have passed. Now, I know people die every single day, and it's not even necessarily about all types of conspiracies, but let me and if you're sensitive, this might not be the first part of this live. You might not want to see it, but it connects to what we're going to talk about in this first part tonight. But this is some of the footage that someone was able, I guess, to capture. I don't want to play the music because I don't want them to copyright me, but sorry, let me turn this down. So this is so if you can see that someone was able to pass by the crash as it happened or after it happened. And Angie's van was that black van that you see there. And again, they got hit by an 18-wheeler. And the reason why people are thinking, okay, why, and why it seems suspicious is because Angie has been speaking out in the past few months before her death. She had been speaking out about her contract with the, I believe, UCM group. So I'm going to play a little clip about what she has been speaking about so you can kind of see the context behind it. And here we go.
I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, they're filthy rich.
And I feel like that last part is what sealed it, because she was like, I'm coming for my money. I'm coming for my money. And again, she's been speaking out about that. Now, Angie's been in the business since, I believe, the early 80s, if not even a little bit before that, because she was part of a group at first. And then she became a singer and songwriter in her own right. If you don't know her, the father of her son is D'Angelo. Hopefully y'all all know who D'Angelo is. How Does It Feel? And Brown Sugar and Cruising. I mean, so many hits, and she actually helped him out with a lot of the songwriting on his album. So this lady, you know, like she said, she's been in the business for a long time, and she's had money that would have allowed her to retire 20 years ago. And so now she's like, okay, I'm seeing everybody ripping, not, I'm gonna say ripping her off, but yeah, you using her samples and things like that, and she's the only one not getting paid for it. And then on top of that, she dies on her son's birthday. And so again, everybody just kind of thinks this is super duper suspect. And again, it could have just been a plain old accident, but a lot of people again are likening it to Left Eye's death. You know, the multiple people that were in the car supposedly swerves off the road. And I'm gonna play that as well, because I know someone said, oh, she crashed or she did something, but it doesn't look like that at all.
The vibe.
You know, I'm not gonna play the audio, but it doesn't look like she swerved at all.
You know what I mean?
Can I play it without the? Okay, I guess I can't play it without the audio.
Y'all gonna need the van? No, we need the red car.
Nobody else died in the accident. Okay, and so she just swerves off the road, and then again, the car flips over, she flips out, and although there were 8 other people in the car, she's the only one that died. So same thing with Angie. You know, who be calling me on live? Yeah, you know, her car flips over however many times, and she's the only one dies, and the same amount of people are in the car. So yeah, nobody else dies. She's the only one. She's the only one. And so again, super, super suspect. You said it's sus how, hold on, let me put this back on the screen. Ooh. Okay, so it said it's sus how these people always die in these brutal deaths. Then they say natural causes got them. Exactly. And again, it could be, but like I was responding to someone on IG, yeah, it could have just been an accident, but at the same time, we know that these witches have admitted to causing accidents through astral projection, and so it's just it just seems way too coincidental that she was speaking out about the industry. She want to get her money, and then next thing you know, she's passed away. Why does that keep happening? Why does that narrative keep happening? They're speaking out about the industry, and the next thing they're gone. It's just crazy. You said when the contract comes due, there's no running you can do. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I don't know what kind of contract she signed. What I can say is I did see a clip of the last concert that she did, you know, the one that she was coming home from, and she praised Jesus on that stage. And I hope that her heart was there, and we know that she'll be with the Lord in her death. So I know T's a work in progress. I know exactly. When I saw that article, I was like, oh my goodness. It's just, and again, it's not even about idol worship. It's just like, man, you don't want to see anybody lose their life. You just don't want to see nobody lose their life. So you said that I'm not a numerologist, but I do know that March 1st equals 33 in Chaldean gematria. So see, and I was like, I know somebody's going to do the numbers. So I'm definitely not surprised. And again, they do funky stuff like that to you dying on your son's birthday. They do that type of BS. So I'm not surprised. You said Angie also sang the theme song for sitcom Girlfriends. Yeah, she was amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And she was unproblematic as far as I know in her career from what I've seen of her throughout the years. So again, I'm hoping that she went to be with the Lord. I hope that she really, knew him. He said anything dealing with music, Hollywood, professional sports is toxic. Nothing but dark witches and warlocks running the show. And you said, and T's a work in progress said, amen. Exactly. And, that, allows me to segue into the circumstances surrounding Gene Hackman's death. Now, granted, Gene Hackman was 95 years old. And I didn't even know he was that old. My goodness, I did not know Gene Hackman was that old. His lovely wife was 63 years old. Excuse me. And they found them under mysterious circumstances as well. Now, the reports that I read said that his pacemaker stopped working on February 17th. And they found him pretty much 9 days ago. And what's also weird is that the dog was found dead in the closet, but then there was 2 other dogs that were found roaming around outside of theirs. And the wife's hand, they said, or her hand and something else were already mummified. Now I looked up mummification, and they said it takes several weeks to almost 6 to 12 months for you to start mummifying. So how in the heck is her hand and whatever else mummifying already? Like, when did they die? And why were they die? Why were they dead at the same time? So people were trying to, okay, did they die at the same time, or did they die? Because, sometimes couples, especially if they've been together for a long time, if one spouse dies, then the next spouse dies soon after, because you're one at that point. You're so close, passing away not too long after. So, oh, you said the number's 369. Yeah, crazy. He said Gene Hackman's death was also weird. Roberta Flack died, then Chris Jasper from the Isley Brothers after her. Yeah, I hate when they say die in threes, because honestly, from what I've seen all through the years, that's exactly what happens, and it's always that anticipation of who are they about to post next. Who are they about to post next? Now, I don't know if you guys know Randy Quaid, but to be honest, I don't really know too many of Randy Quaid's movies. I believe I've more so seen his brother Dennis Quaid, but let me show you what Randy had to say. Now, this is a clip that was 13 years back, but he's actually been speaking out. I think I put it up there. Hold on. Let me see if they'll let me pull up if they'll let me pull up his tweet. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So this is Gene Hackman. This is what he wrote just the other day. He said, Gene Hackman and his wife are murder victims. Some scumbags did it and staged it. Stop talking about the films he was in. This is how they get away with murdering famous people. Fake news starts generating film clips. How is it possible? I know at least 6 people who have died like Carradine, Hackman, and Ledger. Okay. Now, again, like I was saying, Randy has been speaking out for years about his friends getting whacked in Hollywood. So let me show you a clip. This is 13 years ago when he started speaking about this.
the victims of criminal activities. For the past 20 years, my wife Evie and a network of individuals who are out to destroy us personally.
I hate when they do that. I don't know why. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know why this thing don't let me do it.
Professionally and financially. For the past 20 years, my wife Evie and I have been the victims of.
That is so crazy that it's not even funny. Okay, is it still playing? I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna let this play. Because I'll record these whole videos for you guys and then something stupid will happen. This is a recorded video, mind you.
Destroy us personally, professionally, and financially. This network of individuals is manipulating the banking system and the criminal justice system for the purposes of sabotaging our Nor are we fugitives from justice, nor are we crazy. We are simply artists and filmmakers who are being racketeered on. We believe there are to be a malignant tumor of star whackers in Hollywood. How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine among them. I believe these actors were whacked, and I believe that many others, such as Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, and Mel Gibson, are being played to get at their money. In the meantime, many a celebrity's image and marketability is being co-opted and destroyed. Google helps out by keeping the negative stories near the top of a celebrity's webpage because it's the negativity that brings in the advertising revenue. In my own case, my ex-attorney Lloyd Braun has joined this tribe of bottom feeders by creating his own celebrity gossip website. What is wrong with that picture? When your own attorney starts defaming you, who do you turn to defend you? Lloyd Braun also claims to have come up with the idea of The Sopranos, so he's obviously familiar with the ways and means of organized crime. Unfortunately, my brother Dennis has made matters worse by buying a house from Mr. Braun on property Braun originally bought with money he embezzled from me. I recently discovered, much to my surprise, that Dennis is also on the deed to my Santa Barbara property. This is also the work of Mr. Braun, further confounding the validity of the transfer of my fully furnished property in 1992 to Mr. Bruce Berman. I have earned.
Okay,
I believe
that's pretty much the basis of that. So he's even saying that his brother and his attorney are in on it. Not as far as whacking celebrities, but doing things to undermine him and take things from out of his possession. And he names I don't know if you guys remember like people like Chris Penn and David Carradine. Chris Penn, I think he was Sean Penn's brother. I believe he died of an overdose. Oh no, they're saying that his was a heart disease. He died at 40. David Carradine died like with a belt around his neck, hanging on a doorknob. Like they die in crazy, crazy ways. And so out for a very long time. You said these witches in 2025 will tell you they only do white magic and they practice light witches, warlock, and lizard people. Got their own propaganda machines. Yeah. And people thought it was so funny when I said that, these witches have admitted to causing accidents. I'm like, you got to understand that these people believe what they practice. So regardless if you and I believe it, they literally work day and night to make these things happen. They go to graveyards and they pray. They gather material so they can, you know, perform spells and other types of sorceries. Like, these people believe this stuff. And who are we to say that it don't work, because they're practicing it for a reason? You said, I wonder who pulls the people's card when they come due, and how they decide off the people is a vote and one head honcho making all the decisions when people got to become human fertilizer. Well, when I watched that interview with Diddy and Drake, they said it's by the numbers. They some kind of way. I don't know if it's the highest of the number. I don't know how exactly it works, but he said they do it by the numbers. Even Diddy said that. If I can find that clip, I'll post it. But if they pull a certain number, however the numbers line up, you know, that's how they pick them. Yeah, definitely a type of gematria. Definitely a type of gematria. You said that's bold of him to say flat out. Yeah, and he's been saying it, because that clip is 13 years old. You said, is he still alive? Yes, he's still alive, from what I know, because he just posted. What's today? The 2nd. He just posted that tweet that I showed you. So he's still around. You said the deletes. I do not refer to them as the elites. Run everything, including YouTube. Exactly. They've bought up a lot of things, and I just saw that the guy of Wikipedia, even though he's a Christian or whatever, I guess the CIA might have bought him out. And so, as you see, certain things that you post, they'll put that little blue box underneath your video and try to persuade people that what you're talking about in the video ain't it. Yeah. But yes, he's still alive. He's probably not breathing air anymore. He was a little too honest. No, he's still around. You know what's crazy is my internet is acting up, but Randy Quaid. I mean, he's got to be pretty old, but that's why I don't understand, you know, when they choose to leave people alone and when they don't. You know, they let some people talk, and maybe not to seem so suspicious, but some people, they just don't care. But no, he's still around. He's 74 years old. He's still going. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's definitely gematria. I just don't know how it all works. He said the issue is that Hollywood has enacted the biggest attempt as reserve psychology on the masses by having viewers suspend their disbelief watching entertainment, only to suspend their belief IRL in real life. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think people are also, again, I think we talked about this last week, they're also happy to suppress a lot of the things that they see and write it off as, oh, you know, I don't really see what I'm seeing. I don't really hear what I'm hearing. It's probably just something else. You know, they convince themselves. I don't know why, but they convince themselves. Probably because they don't want to deal with the reality of it, because it's a sad existence when you realize what we're doing, what's happening to us. He said, yes, they use the numbers for everything. We've always been told 13 is unlucky, an unlucky number. I don't think it is, and definitely don't think so for them. I know, I was born on the 13th, so I try not to believe that, you know, 13 is an unlucky number. But, you know, has there been birthdays where some stuff has happened? I'm like, yeah, but I never took that to heart and, you know, thought, oh yeah, this is just unlucky. But yeah, for whatever reason, they love that number. I don't know why. Maybe that's something I should look up. But so every time I see that wiki link on videos, I think, oh, I better actively listen to this video. I know, right? Some truth no one wants heard has been said somewhere in this video. Exactly. I agree. Yeah, reverse psychology. Absolutely. And it's working. It's working on some people. They're definitely getting the children that are in the college. I don't want to call them children, but they're definitely getting the people that are in these colleges. They're getting them real good. It's almost that they're stripping you of what you thought you knew so that they can implant what they want you to know. So it's very confusing as why some stars are legends get to live into old age and their peers get whacked. I know I'm still trying to kind of figure, I mean, there's no way of figuring it out, but I'll be thinking that too. Um, I think that too. And a lot of times I see, okay, this person has been because he named Angie was naming people like Dr. Dre and Bruno Mars. Dr. Dre has already been outed as being one of them, a gatekeeper at least. And there's been rumors that Bruno Mars had his mom sacrificed. And I don't know how true that is, but I guess he stays so coked up. Don't nobody care about what Bruno Mars got to, say. He's in debt and he's coked up. So they let him run around and do what he got to do. Because who would believe him anyway? But it's crazy. He said they only keep people around that they can use. Exactly. When you speak what's not in the script, they take you out pretty easy. Pretty much. Pretty much. It's so sad. Yeah, it's definitely sad. I think they let some talk. Oh, Cat Williams, because they are controlled opposition. They have to tell us to postpone their karma, but it goes over most people's heads. I've been hearing a lot of people say that they think Cat Williams is controlled opposition. And I can't say yay or nay, but it does feel like that at times. Because sometimes he'll be talking about the Lord and things like that. And the next thing you know, he's talking about a totally different religion and mixing that in. I'll be like, wait, Cat, what are you talking about? So I don't know what's up with him. They tell us as much as they want us to know. I know that. You said the 13 is a bad number thing, comes from the burning of the Knights Templar on the 13th. That's why the occult claims it's a bad number. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean they use it a lot, and I know like a coven of witches is 13. They use it a lot. Again, I don't mind the number 13 because it's as many Professor Griff videos as I watch, I still believe he's controlled opposition. Really? I haven't watched him in quite a long time. I know somebody told me that he's still around making videos. I haven't watched him. I think, yeah, I haven't seen, even when he sat down with Nick Cannon, I didn't watch it for whatever reason, but I know back in the day he was dropping a lot of knowledge. But that's great. That's so sad. You just don't know. You just don't know. They want no critical thinking, to be honest. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. All these schools are just teaching you, again, what to think, not how to think. So that's why you hear them literally repeat the same talking points. If you ask them a question, they just parrot each other. It's the same exact talking points. It's ridiculous. You say, hey, Auntie, hey, Edelson, how are you doing this evening? It is great to see you as always. Yes, Jamie Foxx, as she mentions, she's sung with before, and he almost possibly got whacked, but came back with a Netflix special and a subliminal movie. Exactly. I really need to watch. I want to watch the comedy special, but I heard that he took out the part where he was, speaking about Diddy and stuff. But maybe I can listen to it and hear if he's talking about anything else, that I might know about. But that's so funny as well because Jamie, I heard that Jamie was throwing them mansion parties and stuff too. So I don't know. What's so, and them naked basketball parties, naked basketball games. I don't know what that's about. But I guess, maybe we weren't supposed to know. I think it's based on influence, deals with the devil and just random accidents. Bruno is like a unicorn. Like, has anyone seen his man exist outside of being on stage? No. No, I just see him in music videos and, like you said, on stage. But then again, I'm not, I don't really follow Bruno Mars like that. I just hear about him when they talk about him. You said Cat has some sus stuff like wearing the Star of Ishtar. Does he? Oh my goodness. And that's the problem because again, he's so back and forth, and because he does tell a lot of truth, you're liable to listen to everything that he says. And the Star Ishtar is something serious. Mm-mm. That spirit is on the land right as we speak. It said the Most High gave us the ability to discern. We have to look at everything with our spiritual eyes. Exactly. Exactly. But that's the problem. A lot of people don't believe in the spirit because they can't see it. You know, they cannot see the spirit, and so they don't believe that it's there. But my next video, I'm gonna try to break that down as much as possible. I should be almost done, but y'all know when I say that, I'll be having a lot more writing to do. But hopefully, my goal is to get that out this week, and that'll be on YouTube. It'll be titled "God Is," and then we'll start going through the Bible because I know a lot of people are requesting that. But I want to be able to define God first before we start getting into the scriptures. So. Cat Williams is definitely controlled opposition. He literally said he was a Christian, but literally doesn't believe in Christian values. Cat Williams is doing the same thing as Kendrick Lamar. I can see that. I can definitely see that. But they all do the switch up. They all do the switch up on us. I'm just watching all of these pastors and stuff, in these pulpits. I'm like, man, I don't know how they started off in their ministry, but they got a lot of people sitting and watching them. And I don't know if people are still sitting in there is because they feel like, oh, how I don't even know the word, the phrase they use, but pretty much, oh, don't follow the preacher. But it's like, okay, but how can you sit and learn from them? Like the preacher I told y'all last week that I saw had the pumps on. Like, why would you sit in his congregation and learn from regardless of whatever the lesson is about? What would warrant the need to put on pumps? And they were cute pumps, but you shouldn't have them on. He said, because nothing for them, nothing is for our benefit. Yeah, they're literally talking to each other. They're literally edifying each other. I agree. I agree. The entertainment is for them, and the joke is on us. Cat Williams mixed up. He talked about how he ran away from home because of strict religion. Oh, parents strict religion, some form of Christianity. I think like Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but that's what happens when it's hard to say, but that's what happens when you start believing things that are not written. Because what they believe in, they think Jesus is a God. I know that's the main point about Jehovah's Witness. They think Jesus is a God, not the God. He said, I always said Cat Williams in his career with 19 felonies, no convictions, had to be at a freak off party. There's no way. He's definitely controlled opposition. Yeah, he's definitely working with somebody because that is something that he brags about. But I don't know about the freak off part. That's funny. I don't know if he was at the freak off party, but because I guess I've just never seen him around them, but I ain't putting it past nobody. Said Cat did a GQ video where they chose to read a comment someone made about him wearing a Rotary Club Freemason necklace, and he just laughed about it. Oh, really? Did he? They play in our faces. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh man, I didn't know that. I gotta see that. And you just laughing about it? Mm-mm. Man, that's just so disappointing. Even though I don't put it past nobody, it's just disappointing. He said, remember, Rockefeller said he wants a nation of workers, not thinkers. He created the education curriculum. I know it. And the crazy thing is, I think they still allow you to, I think some states, you're not even allowed to homeschool. Like if you try to homeschool, they'll come and arrest the mama and daddy. You have to get permission in some states to homeschool. But I think if you can, I think you should. If you can homeschool, get your kids up out of these schools. They're not like they used to be. Yeah, they're definitely not like they used to be. Schools are, we actually learn some classes. You said, I don't trust any of these mainstream characters. You never know who's wearing a skin suit. And that's for real, too. Because they've gotten so good at this makeup and these suits that you'd never know. He said Rockefeller also introduced petroleum-based drugs and banned any homeopathic solutions. People started getting cancer, and he created the American Cancer Society. Man, I'm so glad you said that. What? I just read something about cancer. I don't remember the whole thing, though. I just remember this guy saying, like back in the day, they didn't have cancer for some reason. Man, I'll have to find it and post it. That's going to bother me. But yeah, they were like, we didn't, and that's real because I don't remember. Even though if you look it up, they'll claim that cancer's been around, since like the 1800s and stuff. But I don't remember people having cancer growing up. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all. I really don't remember people getting sick all that much, except for maybe the flu and strep throat. Other than that, now they're over here talking about measles is out here, rubella. I'm like, what? Does anybody even know what measles are? I looked it up and I still don't know what measles are. I just see that it's a rash and all that kind of stuff, but they said that this stuff is spreading out here in Texas. My husband was like, do not go to Buc-ee's. I was like, what's up at Buc-ee's? He said they are spreading measles at the Buc-ee's. If y'all don't know what Buc-ee's is, it's a really, really huge gas station. It's got snacks and drinks and popcorn. They got clothes and all kinds of stuff in here. But they spreading disease out there. So if you notice how he speaks, he's particular with what he says and doesn't say. He leaves a lot up to inference. So yeah, I listened to him. I liked his, again, I did see his comedy special, especially when he first started speaking about the mansion parties and stuff like that, is when my ear really tuned in. But lately, like you said, because he's so flip-floppy, I haven't been paying attention. I loved his Club Shay Shay interview because he was spilling tea all over everybody's lap. But other than that, I can't be listening too much to him. He said, yeah, I thought Jamie was the Diddy version of comedy. All them weird mansion parties and how he whole clone and looks completely different. He doesn't look like life is in his eyes, like a dog, like he's a dog. Yeah, that's what's so weird about it. Because even remember, if you guys have seen the compilation that I posted, but Diddy was warning somebody else about the mansion parties. I'm like, how are you warning somebody else about the mansion parties, but you're one of the main ones throwing them? It doesn't make any sense. He said a lot of celebrities claim to be Christian for marketing purposes. Yeah, I see that. And unfortunately, you can't. Oh, man. I'm not going to say it's getting harder to debate doctrine, but it's getting really hard to debate doctrine because you can get mad if you want to, but there's a lot of denominations, and you have the one big main church. I ain't gonna name no names right now, but you got one big main church that has infiltrated and has literally taken over the whole world. And so everyone thinks that is Christianity as opposed to what has been written. And so they're telling you that you're not saved by grace, you're saved by works. They're telling you that, Christ's death is not sufficient for your salvation. They're telling you all kinds of stuff. And it's going to lead a lot of people to hell, unfortunately. I know cosplaying has become more popular over the years, but Cat Williams literally dressed like a pimp. I thought did he used to be a pimp? Or is that just a role he's playing? I don't know why I'm thinking that he used to actually be a pimp. You said I saw that clip of the pastor in pumps. I know, and I want to say he's not even the only one, but why was he? And people in the comments were really defending it. They were like, "You don't know why he got them pumps on." I'm like, "Well, tell me why. Tell me what in my Cardi B way. What was the reason why you got them on?" And people, and then the ladies. That's what was making me so upset. Oh, he walked better in pumps than I do. You know what? I wouldn't tell nobody. That is nothing to be excited about. And it's not there's no nothing wrong with you not being able to walk in pumps, to walk in pumps, but to be bragging that a man is walking in pumps better than you, why are you praising that? The pastors are being put on by previous pastors, like Philip Anthony Mitchell was taught by a pastor who rumored to be a Freemason and has been naked. What? In front of his own daughter multiple times. Why is he naked in front of her? What do you mean he was naked in front of his daughter? And I'm seeing that a lot. And I'm just seeing the whole movement of, and I didn't know that men were doing it because I thought that the first thing that would happen with them is they get locked up. But I'm seeing the naked mom movement, and if that's you, okay. But I really just don't understand that, where you're just butt naked in front of your kids. And you're bragging about it. One lady was like, "Yeah, I got teenage sons and I be showering with the door open." Why? Because I want him to feel comfortable with women's body, but he ain't got to be comfortable with your body. To me, that would traumatize the heck out of me. If I had to walk around seeing my mom's vagina and stuff all the time, I would not. Like, to me, I'm not gonna say my opinions, but dog, I could see why men would be gay. They would be like, "Hell no, I see my mama's crotch too much," and that traumatized me. So I don't even want to see nobody else's crotch. Like, mm. You seen the video of that woman at the Brit Awards wearing a horse mask and laughing like she's a horse? No. Like the movie Sorry to Bother You that spoke on a half human, half people. No, I haven't seen that. At the Brit Awards? No, I have to look that up. So they're trying to make it seem like people are what? Wait, did my laptop die? Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, I'll bring it up as soon as my laptop turns back on. I don't know what the heck happened. That's crazy. But they're doing that a lot. I think they're gonna try to push. They're gonna try to push something. I don't know if it's just so that we can share organs with the animals, or if they want us to start trying to breed with animals on some bestiality type stuff. I don't know what they're going to start to do with this, but it's getting weird out there. A horse mask? No, I didn't. You got me. I gotta find that. You said that I'm old enough to remember the good days when shame was successfully used to tactic to make people steer away from the things like homosexuality. Now preachers condone that stuff. I know you can't shame anymore because they'll say you're victim shaming or you're victim blaming, and And I hate the whole, why does it matter to you? It's not affecting you. It's like, we all got to live in Sodom and Gomorrah. What do you mean it's not affecting me? If you're on a float going down the street during, the June parade, you know what it is, and your booty cheeks are out, I got to see that. Or if you're sexualizing children and stuff, like we're all here. What do you mean we're not? Your actions don't affect the next person. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. And when you want to corral people's speech to say this and that, yeah, it does affect me because you want me to lie because you got issues, and I'm not about to do that. Because then when I get before the Lord, I gotta explain why I was lying. I got enough on my plate that I have to account for. I don't need to account for what what you got going on and what you forced me to do because, in order to live in this society, in order to not be locked up, in order to not be fined, I ain't doing it. He said, more for them is the mindset. Yeah. He said, just look up Cat Williams GQ. It's still up. Okay. I will definitely make note of that. Okay. So I'm looking up this horse lady with the horse mask on some crazy stuff. Cat Williams GQ. He said the quickest way to become rich and successful is to give up access to the poop where all of your favorite rappers and celebrities are gay and they all do stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah, unless you manage yourself. He said, Edelson, it's wild. I saw a video of a preacher saying God could be trans. Oh my. People can't even be trans. How in the world can God be trans? Critical thought is lacking significantly these days. It really is. But they think they call it respect though. And that's what's weird about it. You're not respecting the next person if you don't go along with whatever they say. However they feel about themselves or whatever, it's disrespectful. When we're told that, we're supposed to speak the truth in love. But hey. So there's statistics showing pre-1960s cancer basically was unheard of now. In days, more than a third of people get it. I know. And from what I understand is that everybody has tumors. And the tumors are there in our body to absorb all the toxins and then it excretes them. Now, if there's an issue in your body, then those toxins are unable to be excreted. So the tumor just gets bigger, 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 bigger until it starts shutting down your organs. And so somewhere in there, something's going on to where your body is not excreting toxins. Or you are absorbing so many toxins that your body can't, handle it all. And then you get overgrown tumors. And what's also crazy? Have y'all seen the news article that's going on? It's pretty much, I don't know, it's going viral, but they're talking about the lead that's in synthetic hair. And so they're urging women to stop using it. Or if you are going to use the synthetic hair, you need to regulate. Well, first of all, you need to check the ingredients in the hair. And you also need to make sure that you're not wearing it for long periods of time. But at the beginning of the video, they said there's no amount of lead that is safe for us. And so I did see an article, which is weird. I saw an article that was saying that in around the 70s and 80s, they had a high rate of serial killers and they attributed it to lead in the gasoline. But when they started taking the lead out of gasoline and taking the lead out of paint, then the crime subsided. And I don't know. I, I don't know how to say this, but it's a lot more women taking people out, a lot more women becoming unhinged over just the littlest things. And I'm sorry to say, but they got weave in their hair. I don't know if there's a correlation. I'm just saying, whenever they bring up these mug shots and what's going on in these neighborhoods, these women got weave in their hair. Now, I ain't trying to talk down on weave. I'm not going to say I've never worn weave in my life. At one point, my hairdresser was calling me the weave queen. I'm just saying that something is going on. And it could be because there's lead in the hair. Now, although I was using human hair, but again, I watched that documentary and I saw that they're praying over that human hair overseas to their idols, and I had to stop. But anyways, I said all that to be careful because I don't know if there's a correlation. He said, Edelson, I agree. Most humans don't come stock with it anymore. No, not at all. Not at all. He said, Bucky's is like a small city. Those it really is. Those gas stations are so big you have to take breaks walking around inside it. You really do. There's like 50 pumps at the Bucky's. I like it. They got good popcorn and stuff. I don't think the food is too good, but yes. People come from afar to go to the Bucky's. It's weird. He said, don't come stalking. Yeah, for sure. He said, I bet Diddy and Jamie have sent each other Valentine's cards once or twice over the years. I don't know. And again, I kind of hear here and there about Jamie. I don't know if he's into men. Like sometimes I hear that he's not, and sometimes I hear that he is. So I really don't know. He said, I mean, Playboy parties have been around for ages. Mansion parties are plentiful. Diddy ain't the only one with a mansion. Absolutely not. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they say that Hugh Hefner lived close by and that there was a tunnel from Diddy's house to Hugh Hefner's house? And I think one other celebrity that lived in the neighborhood. So yeah, no. He's not the only one, but he's the only one that they talk about a lot. He's the only one that they made a big deal out of. So yeah, churches having denominations is actual demonic within itself and extreme anti-biblical. The Pharisees will love the idea of denominations. I know. And that's an argument that they use. They're like, Christianity has over 40,000 denominations. It's like, okay, but if you read the Bible, it actually speaks against that. So, like someone accused me of being a Calvinist today. I'm like, I ain't no doggone Calvinist. I don't even know what all they believe, but what? Just because I think that grace is a free gift and we're not having to do works for it, that makes me a Calvinist. Okay, I guess. So people don't take cloning serious even after the rapper clone guy named Kid Boo. Oh, spoke on cloning facilities and told people they can do their own research. I know. I forgot all about him. We've been talking about cloning for a couple lives and I forgot all about Kid Boo. That man had his tag from the cloning facility. He brought his clone in the room from the cloning facility. And if you didn't know anything about it, when he named Clonade, he dropped the name. And so that's when I went to go look it up. I'm like, Clonade, okay, let me go look it up. And it was true. It was a real cloning facility. And I just don't think that people are just pulling this stuff out of their behind. You don't just make up a name like Clonade. But he brought that man on. Wasn't that a Vlad interview, if I'm not mistaken? Whatever happened to that guy? Matter of fact, I ain't seen him since. But he sure did. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I forgot all about him. He sure did. He's the one that took me down that rabbit hole. I can't see him being the pimp. He comes off more as being the whore getting pimped. I mean, I don't know, I guess. I don't know. Mm-mm. There's definitely something wrong with the man in pumps, I'll say. I know I'm still trying to figure out what the sermon was about. And let's not forget Jaguar being controlled as well. She just got the Defender of Freedom Award from the You're Fired man. Oh, really? I mean, I saw something about them getting together, but I really didn't get into it. And the only reason why I'm on the fence about Jaguar is because one, she has a lot of knowledge, she has a lot of information, stuff that I had already known about years and years and years ago. And then she was coming to the forefront with it. And then again, I've heard that I don't know if we're supposed to not say his name, but Trump, he was supposed to be the one shutting all this stuff down. So, and they were giving out a lot of awards, around 2019, even to the MREC. I don't know if you guys ever watched his channel, but MREC TV, they gave him an award as well for being, I don't know if they called it Defender of Freedom, but because he was dropping knowledge about what was to come. So it's so hard to tell. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. There are a lot of Freemason preachers in the Baptist denominations. I mean, I don't know why they're coming to the Baptist denomination, but yeah, I'm seeing that a lot. And there was another preacher recently that just pledged Omega. It's like, why are you doing that as a preacher? Mm-mm. Poor Joe Biden's daughter had to share a shower space with him. I know. And where was her mom at? Like, and why shouldn't, you know what? I ain't gonna do it. They're gonna say I'm victim shaming. I ain't gonna do it. But man, that's just sad. And he ain't locked up. That's what makes me mad. He ain't locked up. So Cam the King, yeah, also with the charismatic and Pentecostals are into Eastern spirituality. Ooh. Mm-mm. He said, nope, it's all compromise. We're doomed. Yeah, I mean, not if we don't play into it. Not if we don't play into it. Tricking people is so easy, especially when they feel like they're doing the right thing or they're trying to regain control or take it back. Like the nipple thing made no sense. I know. What is it about? It's kind of along the lines of a girl I saw. They were doing a street interview and she pretty much is prostituting herself. And she was talking about how she had gotten abused and stuff like that when she was younger. And so now instead of, I'm trying to think of how she put it. She pretty much said, I'm going to sexualize myself and make money on it since that's what everybody else did to me when I was younger. And I just don't even get that mindset. Because if you didn't like it when you were younger, I would think that you would steer as far away from it as possible now. Because don't nobody know that about you in your past. Especially if you were if you didn't volunteer to do that, you can change your life. You can start a whole new, not saying that the trauma will pass, but you can, what I'm saying is you can steer clear of that and go a whole different path. It's just like the people who have, alcoholic parents per se. Some choose to never drink alcohol because they don't want that for themselves. They don't want to accidentally become alcoholic themselves. And then you have some who their parents were alcoholics and then they become alcoholics. So it's pretty much a choice. He said, I know in Colombia, the donkeys get passed around. I know. That's why they have the donkeys on the cigarette packs. Because they like that donkey love. But, I thought we were really close to allowing that to be part of the LGBTQ, however many letters plus it is. I thought that was going to be next. And then, the P was going to come. But all that stuff is getting reversed right now. So hopefully we're able to steer away from that extra B in that P and making that legal. Because there's some people doing some nasty stuff with these animals, especially with their dogs. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. I think I'm going to leave that alone. Edelson, I'm for the free the nipple, but I admit for selfish reasons, I'm for it. Y'all are silly. This animal lover thing is sick. They already said when they torture someone, they can hold or abuse a certain part of their body until the person acts like an animal of their choice. What? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. And I don't know how far I don't even know if I want to ask. They act like the animal of their choice? I don't know what that means. It's not affecting you is a phrase that could be used for anything evil being done. I know it's a Pandora's box for all actions being justifiably ignored or corrected. I know it's so stupid. I'd be like, so if there was a serial killer on the block and he want to hurt everybody else but me, are you okay with me not saying nothing? Are you okay with me not advocating his butt get locked up? Because it ain't affecting me. But you're cool with me just letting him go after you? Okay. I'll shut my mouth then but you don't want to really live that out. You don't live out what you're claiming that you believe. You don't really believe that everybody should mind their business. No. You only believe that we should mind our business when you're doing something that you feel like you want to do and nobody should say anything to you about it. But if your behind was on the chopping block or one of your relatives or something, you would have something to say. He said, I know you talk a lot about scripture, but do you ever look into stuff in real life, like the Shroud of Turin, locations of places in the Bible, Ark of Covenant? Yeah, I don't know what that meant when you said look at stuff in real life. Absolutely. Again, I have reason. I believe for a reason. I don't believe in blind faith. So, yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know if I believe in the Shroud of Turin, but I definitely know about archaeological places and geology and stuff like that, which just corroborates what I already believe. Yep. I even, there's even, yeah, I mean, yeah, just yes. I'm a lover of all science. I'm a lover of all science. These celebrities either gay for pay or sacrifice for an extra price. Yep, they sure are. They sure are. Again, unless they decide to manage themselves, unless they want to go the route where the machine is not behind them. And that doesn't guarantee how far you'll go, but at least you won't have to lose your dignity over it. If they de-lead the weave and hair extensions, the ratcheted crash out behavior will stop. Is most education's yet hilarious theory posed. Again, I'm just saying, I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's a correlation, but I'm like, well, dang, if crime dropped when they took the lead out of the paint and the gasoline, then if they take the lead out of the weave, you know? I don't know. You might be right about the lead. Anything that disrupts the hormones, especially heavy metals, are toxic for human function. Exactly. But how long have they known this? Because again, what made you start testing out the ingredients in this synthetic hair? How long have you known about this? Those are my questions. Yeah, those are definitely my questions. Because they've been knowing about things for a long time and they don't say nothing. The day people start wearing weave is the day certain women start wearing pounds of makeup. Laughing out loud, they made people too comfortable with hiding themselves. I mean, yeah, to the point where, and again, this is not to shame women who wear makeup or anything like that, but lead is also in a lot of the makeup as well. And so, like you said, if it's changing your hormones and disrupting, even if it's disrupting your neurological functions, we're at a point where people can't, some people wear makeup to bed because they're afraid of whomever they're laying next to see them without makeup. They can't even look at themselves without makeup. It takes them 3, 4, 5 hours to put it on. Did y'all hear when Jessie Wu? I don't know if y'all listen to her. I don't, but I just saw a clip that she was like, if a man can't finance your pretty much your makeup, then he's broke, or like, finance your makeup. You need that much? So again, not to shame women who wear makeup, but I'm just saying, if we're at a point where people do not like themselves, and we got to start asking questions like, wait, why don't I like myself? Who told me that I don't look good? Who told me that I got to wear all this in order to do this and that? I mean, obviously social media has a lot to play in it, but this stuff was happening before even social media came out. What are y'all in the comments talking about? My name ain't Calvin. What are y'all talking about in here? Y'all so funny. It all run by signs and symbols and numbers, gematria. Yep. It sure does. And what they say, the symbolism will be their downfall. All you got to do is pay attention to the symbols, and you'll know who's who and what's what. Who's who and what's what. Yeah, Kid Blue was on Vlad and other interviews. People called him crazy, so he basically stopped talking. Oh, he made music with Rob Banks, Shaggy's son. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a musician. Okay. Yeah, I believe they did call him crazy, especially on Vlad. Because don't get me wrong, I like who Vlad interviews, but He be talking that yang yang over there. People should listen. I mean, orgies and freak offs aren't illegal per se. I guess that's why most of them aren't told about. But obviously, there are RICO charges, drugs, underages, rape, guns, abuse, etc. It gets eyes. Yeah, I think the part that they messed up on was the kids, and then yeah, like you said, the drugs. You know, people didn't know that what they were getting into. So Divine family, good night, good night. Um, signs and symbols, numbers, gematria, and I come to you in many names. From Fem, Moloch, Saturn, Apollo, Satan, Hermes, Horus, and so on. Yep, research into the rabbit hole, but got to have a strong spirit. Oh, I know it. Oh, I know. It literally culture after culture, they just have different names for it, but it's the same idol. Um, yeah, but yeah, definitely have a strong spirit, because if you don't know what you believe in, it'll definitely turn you the other way. So I'm going to be honest, I've heard women base their modern dating and marriages on being prostitutes. I have to be able to afford her to be with her. I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing way too much of that, to be honest. And that's another question. Where does all that come from? I mean, I know where it comes from, but what in these women's minds make them think that they have to prostitute themselves, or that people need to pay for them just to have their number, or just to take them out on a date, or it's crazy. Also, Joe Budden openly admitted to giving his dog hand. What? Man, I can't even have that come out my mouth. Oh my goodness. That's just nasty. Why isn't he locked up? Most people do not behave like like humans. Well, here's the thing with that, and this is nothing to you, right? This is nothing to you, but human is a species of ape, according to quote unquote science. And so, why wouldn't people behave like animals if we are told to believe that we are descendant from an actual animal? And I believe that that is on purpose, because we don't expect animals to have higher cognitive functions, even though we see that they do. Sometimes they have more sense than people, but we don't expect for animals to have morals, or believe in any type of absolute truth and things like that. So however you feel, your carnal desires, why not just go with that? So yeah, that's why I don't. Mm-mm. Sad truth. Yeah. You said Cat is a Freemason too. I guess I don't put it past him now. He said he holds up the 3x3 symbols and signs. Oh, okay. I guess I haven't seen him in a while, but I don't put it past him. And if you've seen him, I believe it. I forgot what it's called. It's along the lines of panda eyes. They can mess them up so bad mentally, they have the person think they're animals. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff right there. I don't know where they got this mindset from. I'm assuming it comes from them never seeing healthy love, relationships, or marriage in their life, so they don't know what it looks like a standard. Yeah, I can definitely see that as well because I believe I've heard them say it out of their mouth, and they think that, from what I've heard, they think that like what they call Big Mama, she was just taking any and everything. Big Mama was getting cheated on. Your granddaddy had a house over here, then he had a house and a family over there. And I'm not saying that that's not true um, for people, but to think that there's no healthy marriages and no healthy relationships is crazy as well. You think that there's no happy relationships? But that's why the narrative needs to be changed around, because if you were convinced by what you saw or didn't see, then we would, I guess the only way to fix that is for you to be the change. Yep. Okay. You'd be surprised how many products have heavy metals in them, and things like aluminum, toilet paper, toothpaste, soap, body and hair wash, detergent, and deodorant all has it. I don't buy anything with it. Yeah, definitely got to be careful. Um, it's so sad because it's like you feel like you can't use anything. You feel like you can't eat or drink anything because they're putting all this poison stuff in it. Take them swimming first date so you can see their real skin suit. Makeup is a lie. Some women have two different faces, one with and one without. I mean, and unfortunately, sometimes you can't even say, "Hey, you look good without makeup. You look beautiful without makeup," because some people get upset about that. And again, I'm not trying to talk down on people about weave and makeup. I'm just saying that we're to the point where we almost can't see ourselves without it. Well, some people, they cannot see themselves without it. Um, I don't think you can go swimming in a waist trainer corset. I don't know if most people are wearing. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws. Confucius. Yeah, that sounds kind of crazy to say though. Because I choose to believe that the word created everything, and we literally see the laws ruling the universe. But I can see where they're coming from. I can see where they're coming from, but I just feel like they don't want us to know the Lord, though. Most of not all sort of sciences goes back to hedonism. Um, well, I guess it depends on, again, what you call science. I choose to believe that science is knowledge. So I don't think that science is supposed to change. I don't think that it's supposed to change, every couple years, or, oh, when we get new information, I don't think that's science, because then that means you weren't working with facts. You were working with your opinions. But I definitely agree with you on that. Because when I think about, you know, like heliocentrism, atoms and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, I know where that comes from. So yeah. You said Joe Budden has always been a weird guy. I mean, yeah. He I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't know. He definitely has a different way of thinking, but I think that's because he's a part of the alphabet community. So he's a little bit more liberal in his thinking sometimes. You said, how do you write the script for your videos? Well, first I do research, and then I just summarize what I found. So, like, I think somebody called it a video essay. That's literally what it is. I just write a really long summary, and then I just narrate it. Yep. Um, like if you guys saw my notes, it's literally pages and pages and and handwritten notes at that. I'm old school, so I handwrite. so, so it's just handwritten notes, and then I just summarize it. They use the word science to explain magic. Mm. Yeah, I think so-called modern science, they just have a different definition of what science is. But yeah, I can see that as well. Joe Budden definitely was a ride or die for Diddy, but stop mentioning it for a bit. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't. That's funny. I don't listen to Joe Budden too much. Um, so I didn't know that. I didn't know he was riding for Diddy, but a lot of people were apparently. Like the game, I didn't know that he was with Diddy for a long period of time. I think he was even his roommate or something crazy like that. You said, yeah. Are you talking about the LGBT, yeah, HD community? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Budden has admitted that he's bi. If I'm not mistaken. And speaking of, let me segue to this. Remember how we were talking about the Kardashian curse? Did y'all see this? Hold on. Let me see if I did I save it? Oh, there it goes. Once it loads. Oh, they're not gonna let me do it. Oh, they're such haters. Anyways, what's that man named? Lamar Odom. He's now with that trans call. What's the name? I don't even know if they put the man's name. Anyways, yeah. So supposedly Lamar Odom is with some trans talking about they're off the market, and they were in a picture all hugged up. Like, mm-mm. The Kardashian curse strikes again. He said real science always leads to the evidence of God. Exactly. Exactly. All the evidence that science that I found absolutely leads to God. Excuse me. You can tell me what you thought about the for I don't know how to pronounce his name, Faraz Sabahi Joe Rogan video. You said you watched it about the philosophy of science. Yeah, I did watch it. It was a lot. What did I think about it? I if I can keep it short, I think Faraz Zabahi or Sahai, whatever Sahabi, I think he's into some dangerous waters because he's almost, and I was agreeing with Joe Rogan most of the time. He was almost saying that there's no way to arrive at truth. Um, yeah, if I can just sum that up right there, I just think that there's no way in his mind that you can arrive at truth. But what did you think about it? It was a lot that was said, so I wish I probably should have did a reaction as I was watching it because it would make a lot more sense. But most of the time, I was like, "Huh, what?" And I was agreeing with Joe because you can almost, I don't know, it just felt like he was thinking himself away from truth. Uh, mm-mm. But yeah, tell me what did you think about it? I didn't agree with half of what he said. You don't want to do any riding or dying for Diddy. He has a different definition when it comes to riding for somebody. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, people should have left him alone a long time ago. A long time ago. But yeah, Elson, I might even do that. I might watch it again and do a reaction as I'm watching it. That way I can break down kind of my thoughts on it. But it was almost making my head hurt. Because it was all because I don't know, it was just a lot of sophist arguments that he was making. I saw an interview of a man saying he was with a trans woman and there was no word to describe their love. I said, "There's though. It's called homosexuality, my friend." I mean, hey, if that's what you like, but I think in that instance, yeah, you're just covering up for being gay, for sure. Do you believe that dinosaurs were real? I believe they were a product of fallen angels sleeping with birds and reptiles. Do I believe that dinosaurs are real? I, hmm. I guess it would depend on if we're going by the dinosaurs that we've seen in the textbooks and stuff like that. I don't know. I think in some shape or form, yes. Like if you think about the Leviathan and things like that, I think those are real. And I think that those would be considered the dinosaurs that they were talking about. Even if it's a fire breathing dragon, I believe that those are real because it's spoken about a lot in history, spoken about in the Bible. I guess I'm on the fence about the dinosaurs that we see in museums just because I've heard that a lot of those were put together, just made up. But if I hadn't have heard that I would say that yes, dinosaurs are real. And I believe that they walked with man. I don't believe that they were like millions of years apart from man and things like that. I don't think that. I think that they literally walked with man. But I can see where you're saying that they were a product of fallen angels sleeping with birds and stuff like that. because they were able to create, weird creatures and stuff. Yeah. But no, that's a hard question. I've heard so many, just different things now. But like when they say about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, I hear that really, he wasn't even a carnivore. He was actually an omnivore, and there was no way that he could have been like a carnivore eating people, because his arms were so short. He wouldn't have been able to even grab anything, so. Mm-mm. Something tells me Diddy has the largest collection in the world of those little donut pillows they make. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All the dinosaurs from the books are fake as hell. They take bones and reconstruct the animal as close as possible with the information they have. And again, that's what I heard. But now, are they just, have they seen these animals and then they reconstruct? I don't know. And then they reconstruct them, or yeah, I just don't know. Because what do they tell us, that a comet came down and hit the earth and destroyed them all? I've also heard the ice age took them out. There's so many different stories, but I don't want to put it past them, because I know that there are places in, I believe Africa, where they said that they still see flying pterodactyls. So I didn't know. So y'all can't tell me the platypus wasn't supposed to die in the flood, because that thing looks like a Frankenstein Pokemon made in the lab by fallen angels. I mean, it definitely is a weird creature, but then again, there's so many weird creatures that are made. And it's like, Lord, what was the thought process behind this? And we don't know. We're just making stuff. So I don't know. I mean, for some context, Farah, whatever his name is, I'm calling him Faraz, is a devout Muslim, so he was leaning more on the side of God. If you didn't understand what didn't you like about what he said, you think he was using sophist argument. Again, okay. Uh, now, see, that's uh, I did not, his arguments, he to know truth by the philosophy that he was using. It was almost as if he was saying that there's no way that we can know truth. And I don't remember every single argument he was making. Cause like I said, it was a lot. It was like, oh, it was just all over the place to me. But I'll watch it again and I'll break it down, because that'll make it easier for me to explain what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't say that he was leaning on the side of God. I didn't gather that at all. Because even God will tell us that we can know truth. And he says that he even said, like, Daniel he understood all science. And I believe that even by studying creation, we can know truth and we can know God. So I don't know. He said, wait, how the hell does one sleep with the bird? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. He said the people in power are so bent on people believing this earth is billions of years old. This earth is only 6,000 years old. Yeah, and there's a lot but again, I think that they want us to believe that because they need time and chance in order for evolution in their mind to be true. Because they're saying, okay, well, Yeah, that's all. They need time and chance in order to make evolution true. With so much time, they say it could be possible that these apes turned into humans. And they use that argument because people say, well, okay, well, we've never seen any apes turn into humans. Oh, well, if you give it enough time, we would have seen that. I'm like, okay. But then when you research things like comets that are literally orbiting the sun and stuff, okay, particular comets, they wouldn't have been around for billions of years. They would have had to eventually melt, and I guess whatever rock it's composed of fall to Earth. And so that's why they made up the Oort cloud. Oh, well, no, there's an Oort cloud that's producing all of these comets. And that's the reason why we still see these comets even billions of years later. They always move the goalpost. So yeah, I could say a lot about that. I could say a lot about, but good point. A good point. You could say a lot about the whole billions of years versus 6,000 years old. And even when you think about fossils, when you ask them, okay, well, how are fossils made? Oh, well, fossils have to be buried very, very quickly, because if you have something dead on the surface, another animal or whatever will come and eat it up. So in order for us to have these preserved fossil records as we do, we know that these dead things had to be buried really, really quickly underwater. And that's all explained by the flood. But because the flood can't be true, because if the flood is true, then they have to agree with the Bible. They have to come up with these billions of years. And they talk about the rock layer. Oh, man, we can get into this. We can get into a long conversation about this, about the rock layers and how they think that signifies different periods of time. But then if you look at the Grand Canyon and you're like, okay, well, if there was a great flood that came through here, then this could have easily been, water could have easily cut through this canyon and created it. And not only that, man, when Mount St. Helen erupted, they found out, oh, these layers can be created really, really quickly. But yeah, like I said, that's a hard, I wouldn't call it a rabbit hole, but that's a whole different scientific study in itself. I think I made a video on that, if I'm not mistaken. I sure did. Humans are stupid. They believe all types of things they're told without doing their own research. Exactly. Exactly. But there was that thing some time ago. A dude was in a fillet of fish and McChicken or something. I don't think the bird is out of reality. Wait, what? There was a thing some time ago. A dude was in a fillet of fish and McChicken or something. I don't think the bird is out of reality. I don't know what you mean. Like the platypus can literally detect their prey by sensing electrical fields around them. That's some Superman X-ray type stuff. Oh, I didn't know that. I had heard that before. They have to keep the lie going by telling more lies. Yep, absolutely. So my brother has definitely hasn't evolved yet. I can believe it. Oh no. Satellites are fake too. Mm-mm. And they make up things to discredit God. Yeah, they definitely do that. You can look at crayons and tell the flood event was something quick by looking at deposits. Exactly. But you got to really, again, these are little bitty things within science that most people don't look at. So I mean, Muslims are quite different from Christians, so probably a difference in theological understanding with Faraz. I'd say more, but there's a text limit on these chats. I'll wait for your walkthrough. Okay, I'll watch it again and I'll do one. Nearly every major culture has a flood story. Yeah, but they'll claim that, oh, they're all just copying off of each other without taking into account that these are these are cultures that are vastly far apart from each other. And they didn't have the internet. They didn't have a telephone. So how do you suspect that they came up with a flood story in Asia and then told the people in Africa and then told the people in Europe? Like, how do you figure that happened? Exactly. No offense, but because my understanding is religion is your beliefs about God. So everybody has a religion. Everybody has a religion. And I've covered quite a bit of the religions. I've covered a few religions on this channel. But please expound on what you mean, and I will answer. Has anyone ever used the Pythagorean theorem in real life? They teach you stuff you'll never use, but not the stuff that's vital. I've never used it. Have I used it? I don't think so. No, just in class. Just studying it for tests. Yeah, that's really the only time I've ever had to use it. And yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, crayons. You said canyons. They're a very, very big indicator. Very, very big indicator. Why do you think the presence of God was more active in the Old Testament versus today? Mm, I don't know if I think that he was more active in the Old Testament. I just think that no, I wouldn't say that he was more active. I think we might have it might feel that way because he was speaking a lot through the prophets then, and he needed them to write his words down. And so you saw him constantly speaking to his people, constantly, with his people. But now we just have the word and the spirit to guide us, you know. And then I also think that I just think that we're in the end days as well. So he said what he had to say. And now it's up to us. Either we're going to follow or not follow. I've never used Pythagoras, but it's quite useful. I mean, like it's interesting stuff, but yeah, I've never used it. But then again, I'm not. I think it also depends on your what you do in life as well. I didn't do a whole lot of stuff dealing with math. Like I had to take In college, all I had to take was college algebra and trig, and I was done with math after that. The rest of my stuff was in the liberal arts college. So, but but if you were like an engineer or something like that, you would probably have to deal more with that stuff. So I think it just depends on what your trade is. But that, I mean, like the 10 of meeting and having a personal relationship with people is constant contact with him. Is it because we suck and they constantly rebelled against him? Um, yeah, like I said, I think it's just that that was a time when it had to be written about because he was creating doctrine for us. And now we just don't do that. So it just feels like people aren't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it just feels like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because he's still pouring out his spirit. We still have a personal relationship with him. Dort, I don't know how you say a Dorche. I don't know if that. I hope you're still there. I'm I'm willing to answer your question, but I don't know what rabbit hole about religion that you're speaking about. Now we have the Holy Spirit now, which is something the Israelites back then would have killed for. um, I mean, I don't know if they would have. I guess it really just depends because there were so many. Remember, there were so many Israelites that didn't follow, even when he was, guiding them. Even like Cam the King was saying, even when they had him there and they were having a personal relationship with them, there were still people that rebelled. So I don't know. What do you think about the young guy that died at Southern? Listen, did not. I don't want to say I told y'all. I do not want to say I told y'all because again, a young man lost his life. But this is what they do. This is what they do. And even my mom was like, they gotta stop this hazing stuff. But they gotta make sure that you're down, and you gotta do so much so that you're bonded with these people. And sometimes they take it too far. And the thing about it is, you don't know who it is that's hazing you. You don't know where their mind is at. You don't know who that man or that woman was talking to. Like he's not the first person to die around this stuff. They have drowned people before. They have made people drink bleach and stuff before. You don't know who it is, and it's humiliating. They'll try to humiliate you if you drop, which just means like you get offline. You decide you can't go through it no more. You get humiliated. And then you're known around as the person that dropped. And so they feel like they got to go through with it. And so I'm sorry about his life, but this is what happens in these organizations. And I'm trying to warn people, and a lot of other people are trying to warn people. I'm not going to say no names, but somebody very, 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 very close to me. Let's just say, and I'm just going to throw a number out there. Let's just say he was 200 pounds, when he started the process, when we saying that he had lost all his weight. And you're not online for like months and years at a time. You got to understand you're on for a few weeks. So imagine dropping 100 pounds in just a couple weeks or a few weeks. You don't know what they're going to make you do. They can have you reach in the toilet and grab some feces out and eat it. Like, you do not know what they're going to make you do to be down. So you said, I think Christianity today misses the real important stuff too. They portray God as this weak, forgiving God, but forget the slaughter of the Old Testament and him being a righteous God. But I also think that that's people that don't know the Bible. And it's not, I just think it's people that don't know the Bible. I mean, we're in a grace period now. We're not under the law right now. So we're not tested like that. But yeah, they also forget that love also comes with correction, is what I'll say. And I also, yeah. And a lot of people, let me say, a lot of people don't want to even think about the Old Testament because they'll say, oh, the Old Testament God is different from the New Testament God. It's not that he was different. He was setting a people apart to himself. And just as he cannot let sin into heaven, that's kind of how he treated his people in the Old Testament. Like, if you're going to follow me, I can't let any sin in because you're going to corrupt everybody else. So I got to take you out of here. And that's why he was quick to do that when he said, hey, don't bring an idol into this camp. And they would try to sneak idols into the camp and try to bury it under stuff. And he would find out, like, no, you got to go. Because now you're about to corrupt my people. And I'm trying to make a holy people unto myself. And so once you understand that, then, it's a little different. I blame the Jews and Jesuits. They doomed us all. Well, I don't know about doomed because we're saved. You can be saved. You don't have to believe as the Jews and the Jesuits did. You can be saved. Salvation is a free gift to all who believe. What sort of hobbies do you have until young people these days don't take interest in those things anymore? Just carnality, TikTok, and making money. I like to sing and dance. I like going to karaoke. I like playing pool. I like coloring. I like to read. I like to write. I like to bowl. I like to watch movies. I like to play sports. I have taken up making things like products. I make like candles and hair and skincare stuff. I like to do that. I'm actually making a line right now, getting that all together so I can put it on my e-commerce website. So yeah, I like to do a lot of different things. I like to play video games. So yeah, those are the things I do. He said, "Well, I mean the Israelites that didn't rebel against God." Oh, oh yeah, okay, I got you. I mean for sure, but again, they were, as long as they were following God, it was accounted to them for righteousness. So even though they didn't have the quote unquote Holy Spirit, remember they were being guided by God. He was They were following a pillar of cloud, and they were following a pillar of fire. He was guiding them through the wilderness and getting them to the promised land. So they had a little bit different than we did. Um, when I was in school, a guy died from the hazing where they made him drink 10 gallons of water in one setting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And yeah, man, yeah, that's the stuff that happens. Um, it became such a big deal. The school wrote in rules where they didn't allow hazing in pledges, but all sororities and fraternities are highly pagan anyways. And they'll tell you that on the service. That's the problem. They'll tell you that on the service, but then late at night, you'll see them take those people, and you might be all dressed in black, and they come and get you, and they haze you anyway. Or, like I said, it's a circle within a circle. So they will take a certain amount of people so that they don't get caught. They'll take a certain amount of people and they'll haze them and pledge them, and the other people will be paper. So, um, I don't even know how many sheep did you sleep with to get into your sorority? I didn't sleep with, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. How many sheep did I sleep with to get into my sorority? I don't get down like that. I don't get down like that. Yeah, I don't get down like that. I had the grades, I had the community service, I had the recommendations, I had the money, and I got chose. Mm-mm. I never cared to be a part of any groups. Fraternities just look extremely gay to me, and that I'm a radical heterosexual with no homosexual tendencies, so I stay clear of them. I mean, not all of them are about that. I don't. You know, I don't. I don't know about that stuff, but yeah, I don't know about any of that stuff. But they like to, whoop and use the paddle and all that kind of stuff. But I've never heard about anybody doing any gay stuff to get on. What did the Jesuits do? Don't know anything about them. Well, there's levels to the Jesuit thing, but supposedly the Jesuits were worshiping Baphomet behind closed doors. So they pretty much infiltrated Christianity, and they created different sects to um, worship Baphomet behind closed doors, but look like Christians in the forefront. And they created different, like if you've heard about, I was talking to somebody in the comments, like the Crusades. They help to, what are the words I'm looking for? They're pretty much helping to take over this world. They're one of the puppets that the Illuminati uses in order to help take over the world through the religious order. Edison, you got some reading to do. They control all secret societies and are the strong arm of the Catholic Church. They have their fingers in politics and other controls deep in society. It goes deep. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. That's exactly what it is. It is easy to see and recognize once you know what you're looking for at Cam the King. So the issue with the Jesuits is that they're a secret order. So just like there's the popes, like the pope that we see with the white robe, there's also a black pope, a red pope, a gray pope, and these people are behind the scenes, and you will never ever see them. We will never ever know who they are. And just like I showed y'all that there's a Holy See, which is pretty much the central government of the Catholic Church, and then the Catholic Church is one of the religious arms of it, and that the head of the head of the Holy See is the Illuminati, and then the head of the Illuminati is Satan, like Lucifer or whatever they want to call him at the time. They like to say Lucifer in that sect, but it's just a hierarchy of power. So mhm. Yeah, they have certain signs and symbols. It blows my mind how many there are and how relevant they are. Many presidents have had pictures taken with members. Yeah. He said the Catholic Church loves their pagan symbolism. Yeah, they do. But they never stopped, they never let it go. The Catholic Church was always pagan. And all they did was when they realized that everybody was turning their hearts and their minds to Christ in Rome, they just started merging their paganism with Christianity so that they wouldn't lose their influence. The same thing that happened with the Norse people and the Celtics. But the Crusades was good, right? It was against Islamic invasion, or just saying they were involved. No, the Crusades were against the Catholic Church and Islam, but they were trying to stop Islam from spreading their control everywhere. Well, the problem is that the Catholics were the ones spreading their control, and they got upset when they realized that the Islam was spreading their control. And so it was just a big war between them because they're both trying to have control of the world. So I wouldn't say it's good, because they're doing it under the arm of Christianity, when not one scripture will tell you in the New Testament that we need to be starting wars with people in order to, and here's the thing, they were doing it in order to force conversion on people. So the same way Islam forces conversion, they'll chop off your head if you don't praise Allah, is the same thing that the Catholic Church was doing. Or so no, it wasn't a good thing. They were forcing conversion. You can't force anybody to believe, and nor does God want you to force people to believe. He wants you to believe in your heart. And he doesn't tell us to go around making war with people in order to get them to believe. He says to go ye therefore and baptize, go ye therefore and teach the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have given to you. So it had nothing to do with forcing people to do anything. He wanted you to hear the gospel and believe. So, yeah. Troy Peterson, he said they're responsible for the 60s rock and roll movement. Okay. And hey, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Because from what they'll even tell you is that rock and roll was created to turn the masses to Satan. So, yep. I can see that is very true. They claim the Jesuits have started 90% of all wars since World War One, and they influence current wars today. There's good evidence to support this too. Exactly. Exactly. Because remember, the not only is the Catholic Church is also working with the bankers, and the bankers are the ones that own everything. And if y'all remember the video I did on the last video I did, it's like it was sorry if y'all are be forgetting the titles of my movie of my videos, but the lady even said if my sons didn't start all these wars, there would be none. And they literally will fund both sides of the war because they earn money off of the war, off of wars. I just had an epiphany. The metaphysical implication of the dollar is based on giving our life source being in exchange for the dollar, which signifies as receipt to Lucifer, aka Kronos. What did Jesus say when they asked him if they should be I think if they should be paying taxes? He said, give what you owe to me, and then give Caesar what he's due. So like you said, yeah, that's Caesar's money. It ain't got nothing to do with the Lord. That's his money. Obviously, we have to use it. Money is a tool for us, but he doggone sure don't want us giving our life for it. He even told the disciples, like, sell everything that you have and follow me. The Catholics killed millions who didn't convert. Exactly. And that's literally what I was trying to tell somebody in the comments. They were like trying to come at me. I'm like, that's telling you that the Pope ain't nothing. He got nothing to do with Christ. Nothing to do with Christ. Islam also has Catholic roots. Exactly, because the Jesuit priest, or former priest, his name was Alberto Rivero, said that the Catholic Church created Islam. He said that was like the secret. I'm glad, hey, dropping gems in here tonight. The Catholic Church created Islam. And if you look at them, they literally mirror each other. The same way the Muslims make the pilgrimage to Mecca for the Hajj, the same way the Catholics are supposed to make their trip to Rome for the same reason. And they felt like going to war and having all these people killed in the name of Christ, they felt like that was some type of penance. They were earning grace with God by doing that. We're not even supposed to be murdering people. So why in the heck do you think that you're supposed to be getting grace for starting wars? But, whatever. The Muslims worship a black cube, aka Saturn, and most don't know it. Shoot, most don't know a lot of the doctrine that they claim to believe in. Money is used to attain tangible goods that pertains to one of our five senses. Yeah, I think it even says, I don't know which scripture it is exactly, but it says that money is a tool. So it's there, so we can use it. Like you said, we can get things and do what we got to do, but we definitely shouldn't be worshiping it. You said, yes, a Jesuit priest from Georgetown University. Okay. Yeah, he was speaking out. I want to say they killed him or he just died, but yeah, he didn't stay around too long after they. Sorry, y'all. See, my voice is getting deep. It's getting late. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, he definitely spoke out, is what I was trying to say. I know it was bad and stuff, but as someone that is a Christian by colonization, I'm happy that I'm a Christian, not Muslim. Muslim has also a lot of nonsense among numerous things other than I don't like about it. Now, when you say that what do you mean that you're a Christian by colonization? The first bankers were the Medicis, then the Knights Templar, then the Rothschilds. Yeah, I think we need to go down. I'm pretty sure someone asked, we need to go down the bloodline rabbit hole, but that's coming. But yep, they were definitely one of the families, one of the bloodline families. There's manuscripts that expose the Catholic Church created Islam that they deny the Muslims access to. They've been trying to get access for 100 years. Well, I hope they go ahead and expose it. Hope they go ahead and expose it. Because a lot of people are being lost. A lot of people are being lost to that doctrine, unfortunately. Is this why the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil? Because what money spiritually signifies is some form of symbolic alchemy to convert life into materials used to fill our lust. Hey, I guess I hadn't quite thought about it that deeply, but that makes sense. I thought it was just more so because people will do anything for money. You know, when you're greedy for money, like you'll steal, you'll kill, and it don't matter who. Like, how many times have we seen these news articles or these news shows where they're people will kill for $5, $20, like they don't care. They will take your life for it. But hey, you never know. Islam is a moon worship and Christianity has elements of sun worship, and they both go back to Babylon. Now I've heard I definitely would agree about Islam. I don't agree about Christianity. And the reason why I say that is because I mean there's a lot of reasons. The sun, when people say, oh, the sun is the sun, like the actual sun in the sky, I don't believe that at all. The sun just means like the father's child. And sun worship is actually linked to serpent worship. And I'm writing a book about that and I'll present that. And serpent worship and sun worship is strictly forbidden in the pages of scripture, strictly forbidden. But I can see where people say that. And then you also have the idea of Mithras, that religion, and how they are sun worship. And then you have, man, there's so much. I feel like I don't want to ramble on this live, but I understand what you mean by that, but I definitely don't agree when it's all broken down. Because that whole Tammuz and his mama and stuff, all that stuff's forbidden. That I think that's more so with the Catholic Church because they honor Mary. I wish I would have never been educated. Oh, I wish I never would have educated myself on signs and symbols, occult stuff, and secret societies. Now that my eyes are open, I see the stuff in all current culture. I mean, yeah, it definitely is a blessing and a curse. How the phrase goes, but I guess the reason why I'm glad for having realized it is because you kind of know what to stay away from now. Because a lot of people get tied to things because it looks Christian, it sounds good. Oh, well, he had a cross around his neck. Okay, well, what other stuff was there? You just don't get, you just don't get deceived. You said it's the Hegelian dialectic before George Hegel. Yeah. Yeah. They've been doing it for a very, very, very long time. The bloodlines run deep, and it's shocking the people in history these families are related to. Yep. That 6 degrees of separation stuff is real. It's really real. Many cannot make the connection that Daniel 7 shows the rise of the ecclesiastical Rome. Yeah. And it might even because Daniel is a hard read. You really got to be just like Revelation. You really got to put that stuff together and understand what it's talking about. But I people for hundreds and maybe even thousands of years have believed that it was Rome. And it's interesting to see how many, books and stuff have been written about it. So, but people ain't paying attention because it presents itself as the true church, and that's all people see. And and I believe somebody else was asking me about this as well. They're like, well, have you even heard of a scholar that wasn't, or sorry, have you ever heard of a early church father that wasn't Catholic? And I'm like, no, I have not. But you can, just like we were saying, how history has been, changed and stuff like that. You can, after the apostles died, you can say anything. You can say anything, even though it was written, and they had the New Testament stuff written. Somehow, some way, these people have been able to come in, and even 300 years later, after the scriptures were written, they've been able to say, "Well, we're descendants from from Peter," and people believe it. He said before colonial powers that were Christians in Africa, but when the Europeans came, one example, French came to Africa, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, etc., then converted to Christianity. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't think that someone can force you to believe what your heart is supposed to believe. So even if they came through and they were chopping off everybody's heads, you still don't have to believe. Did you know that there's not one authentic Quran? All copies and many are different. The oldest one is in the Catholic Church possession, and it's said to expose the fact that started Islam. I had not heard that. Well, okay. So what I have heard, or what I do know, is that there was I believe his name was Uthman, if I'm not mistaken. I know that he at one time collected all of the Qurans that he didn't like, and he burned those. And so that's why the Muslims believe that they have like a true copy, pretty much. They believe that their Quran has never been changed. I'm sorry. They believe it's never been changed, but it's really because Uthman had burned the rest of the copies. But no, I didn't know that about the Catholic Church and having that one. That's crazy. Or Spanish and Latin in the Caribbean. I mean, what about Pentecost though? Because when they were at Pentecost, people from all nations were there, and the Holy Spirit descended on them, and they all believed, and they were even able to hear each other's different tongues and understand. And from there, you go back to your respective nation, and you do as the Bible says and you start, preaching the gospel. Yeah, I just don't know if I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say colonization did that. Jesus isn't created being, he was begotten, not born. I mean, I'll agree with the begotten. I'll leave that at that. To see, you have to have connect Daniel 7 and Daniel 13 to make the connection. Exactly. And again, Daniel, I'm not gonna lie, I love the book of Daniel. It's one of my favorite books, but it's a hard read, just like Revelation is a real hard read. Matter of fact, I was writing down stuff the other day, like, okay, 7 horns or 7 kings and 10, and I've had to do that a few times just to make sure that I understand what's being said. Yep. You said all the Christian religions have a piece of Babylon, unwittingly though. So do you think that now when you say like all the denominations, do you also mean the New Testament that is, I don't mean the New Testament after Peter and all the apostles died. I mean literally what they wrote, what they said that they wrote down, and even the people, sorry, what am I trying to say? The apostles said that even while they were writing, even that there were still people alive who had seen the risen Jesus, right? So I'm talking about their scriptures that they wrote, even with the witnesses still alive. I'm not talking about the catechisms and stuff that supposedly came after, and the Pope that's sent it from St. Peter. Do you feel like those also have Babylon in them? I hope I made sense. I feel like I'm jumbling it up, but it's getting late. You said if I pay the £1 on Patreon, do I get into the Discord so people can help me so I can research into this stuff, or is it only for the other tier? No. One will definitely get you into most of what I post in there, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And again, we're gonna start getting into this. I want to be able to post God is first, because I don't want anybody questioning who God is, so that we can understand what the scriptures are saying about what God said, if that makes sense. But yeah, we'll definitely start expounding here real soon and going through it, because I know people are, and I want to go through it as well. I want to be able to go through the whole Bible. So, but we talk about a lot of stuff on the Patreon. I just kind of, yeah. So, this is what Revelation 13:3 is talking about. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I know what you mean. Especially when he started writing the letters to the churches. He was like, okay, y'all got a little bit of this. I need y'all to get that cleared up. Yeah. Well, you have to stay away from basically everything. I don't consume any mainstream music, TV, or radio. It's all polluted with the crap, and most have no idea what they're consuming. Yeah, I agree. I will admit I'm not so strong as to have cut out everything, but I'm noticing more and more and more that I do not watch, and, a lot of stuff. I definitely don't watch TV like that. I haven't had cable in, man, so many years. Like, oh, I feel like over 15 years I haven't had cable. This is why God is going to call out his people out of Babylon. Yeah, he's definitely doing it. Rome never fell. We, the U.S., are Rome today. We adopted everything from them, including how the government runs. Yep. We have senators in the Senate. No one draws the conclusions between Rome and the U.S. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't. But well, no, I do know why. Because people don't really research Rome. I think they research from Romulus and Remus. I think that's something that we learned in school. Like, oh yeah, they founded the cities of Rome, and then we know the history from then on. But I found Rome history from before that. And I made a video about it. Daniel and Revelation are prophetic books. It can be unlocked with the right key. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot of the elites claim to be from David. They're always trying to claim to be from somebody, aren't they? Oh, we're from the God of Aeneas, or we're from David. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because guess what? If you were from the line of David, then you would be with Christ. You would believe on his name and not Lucifer's name. Yep, Rome killed the disciples, then posed as them. Ooh, shucks. And distorted them spiritually, much like the skinwalkers do with modern day celebrities. I don't see no lie. They just took on the name and yep, they sure did. And here's the thing about it. They'll claim that. So I literally looked this up. They say that it started with Saint Ignatius or whatever they call him, and then it goes on to the popes that we see now. But there was a Linus before them. Right after Peter died, there was a Linus, and if you look it up on Wikipedia, it says that he was of the Christian denomination. But if you look up every so-called pope after that, it says they're of the Catholic denomination. So I just feel like people ain't paying attention. Because it sounds good to believe, oh yeah, a successor was left and he's over the whole church. No, there was so many churches already. Then there were so many. If there weren't already churches, then how was he writing to the 7 churches in Asia? There wasn't just one big church. They were all there was a lot of churches, and they were all following the faith that the disciples and Jesus left. There was no catechism and all that other stuff. There was no church fathers to listen to. No. You don't have to believe. You just have to miss your head. He said the starting point is Genesis 3:15. After the seed of the woman came forth, and the serpent seed would come after. Christianized Rome with a Christianized veneer. Yeah. I think people miss that part too. It's so funny, and I'm not going to call out the channel, but I remember a long time ago, well, a few years ago, and whatever live that they were doing, I commented and I was like, hey, the serpent in the Bible means to practice divination, and I didn't go so far as to say the first religion, but maybe I did, and I started talking about ophiomancy being the first religion that people admit to practicing. They said they left off serving God to practice ophiomancy. And that man told me that I was reading into the Bible things that weren't there, and da 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 da. He was going off on me in the comments. And literally, maybe a day or two ago, I see him saying that the first religion of Adam and Eve, and then he starts talking about the serpent. I was like, my goodness. I, I ain't mad. I'm glad you finally understand. But I tried to tell you this years ago, and you scoffed at me. And all I was doing was reading the Bible. And I had also read some African literature, and they had literally said, we left off serving the one true God to practice ophiomancy, which is divination by serpent. So I had read those two things, and I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. Because Nakash means to practice divination. So 1 + 1 makes 2. But I was reading into it too much, guys. That's exactly what Wes Huff is talking about with the Quran and what Uthman did. Okay. And yeah. I've actually read I've watched a lot of apologetics with Muslims, and that's kind of the reason why I know that. I haven't read the Quran for myself, so. But yeah. There was a movement not long ago that got little attention where highly respected Muslim representatives tried to petition the Catholic Church for the Quran they have in stores. They gotta know. That is really interesting. I definitely want to look that up. I do. I definitely do. I knew Islam was false when that dude Muhammad was heavily illiterate, but wrote a whole book and created poems unlike no one else. That's literally break the laws of logic. I mean, among many things, right? I think the biggest thing for me is them saying that God doesn't have a son. And you can literally, if I'm not mistaken, it's in Proverbs, when God asks, what's my name and what's my son's name? I'm paraphrasing the scripture, but he's like, what's my name and what's my son's name, if you can tell me? And so even the Old Testament admits God has a son. And, they just say a whole bunch of stuff, but we will dive into Islam as well. Everywhere you find Christianity there's going to be murder, sickness, alcoholism, sexual immorality, drug abuse, stealing, and lying. It's just con men and hypocrites selling hopes to naive people. Well, why do you say that? What makes you think it's a con man's game? What makes you think it's a con man's game? When you get a chance, I can walk you through Daniel and Revelation. I mean, yeah, when we talk about it, when we talk about it, I'm gonna get a few other lessons out the way, but we can definitely go through it. Iron sharpens iron. Islam is a lie. There's no virgin women in 2025 living. So how do you get 27 virgins when you light a bomb that duct taped to your chest? Now haven't heard about the bomb, but that's funny. There's virgin women, but probably not a lot. I mean, hey. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I guess they're gonna be sexing in the heaven, according to Islam. Edelson, you said 100% humans are flawed beings. I mean, I guess I don't really know what y'all are trying to say about that. I don't know what y'all are trying to say right there. Because I believe that we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. So I'm not saying that you're not going to see these things, but I'm just gonna wait. I want to know why it's a con man's game. He said, I think it's 72, bro. He said, wait, we have a Discord. I actually do have a Discord. I actually do have a Discord. Um, I just haven't necessarily used it because I thought they had shut Discord down, to be honest. And so I had got off of there, but we definitely do have a Discord. I'm gonna see what all we can do on the Patreon. But I know on Discord we can actually send voice notes and pictures and videos and things like that, so we can easily expound on things. So I'll check it and make sure and see if it's still an app we can use. But yeah, I definitely have a Discord. Edison, oh man, I know that's BS. Then I can't think of enough to fit in one hand, let alone 70 plus. To be honest, I only can think of two, and that's Venus Williams and it's one other lady. She's an actress. She's a Black actress, and she says she's a virgin. She's pretty popular, I think, right now, but you know. Mm. Okay, the parable of Matthew 13 explains it. The good men left men in charge of the vineyard, but while men slept, the enemy came in and sowed tares among the wheat. Yep. Yep. I mean, it even warns that people came from out amongst them while they were there and started preaching another gospel, another Jesus. So this is there was always an infiltration. He said, have you ever looked into the revelation signs that appeared in the stars in 2017 and 2024? I have. I looked into it. I don't know about 2024 though. I don't know about 2024. I don't know if I necessarily believe that they corresponded to Revelation though. But again, I haven't seen 2024. I'll have to check that. But there was a guy a long time ago that was teaching about, seeing the woman in heaven and I guess you would say the constellations that would have presented that. But I actually haven't heard that in a while, especially not 2024. He says, supposedly they follow a true God, but when they go to heaven, it's just lust and carnality. Pretty much. Hey, I'm glad you're back. How are you guys? I don't know whether you talked about Angie Stone, but wow, yes, that was the first thing that I talked about. Oh, good. Somebody said, yep, we opened up with that. Let me read your next comment. It's crazy because she just spoke out about how they were trying to steal her masters and how she was getting sick in the hospital and demonic attack, and now she's dead from car crash. Convenient. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I hate that. I'm not going to say I hate, because like I said, she did praise Jesus before, she left the stage. And I'm like, dang, the enemy might see that as them having power, still, even though she prayed and all that kind of stuff. But, sometimes the Lord takes us away so that we're not hurt anymore. So we're not suffering anymore. And I hope that's the reason why she was taken, and it's not something that the enemy can boast about. So yeah, sad stuff. Sad stuff. And I know they think they got over, but the Lord's gonna have the last say. So Edelson, I don't think they have put together those facts yet. Yeah. The King and the King is not that. They have a totally different morals and ethics compared to us, strange culture and books. Mm-hmm. I notice they always say they believe in God. They just don't say which God. Yeah. I mean, but we notice that too. Said Elson, very true. Many things we find morally unjust, they prop up and accept. There's a special place in hell for people that use religion to aid in slavery and colonization. Oh yeah, because especially because they have people thinking that that was God's will. And it's like, have you not read Exodus? Did you not see why he took his people out of Egypt? Because they were in slavery and in bondage, and he wanted them to follow him. So what makes you think that he felt like slavery was okay? And mind you, slavery is different than indentured servitude, because there was a time when you could be a quote unquote indentured servant, or if you wanted to call it a slave, you can call it a slave, but they worked for money, but they were able to have wealth and children and families. And after a certain period of time, I believe it's 7 years, you were supposed to let that servant go so that he can go and live about his life. And his debt, regardless if it was paid off or not, it was supposed to be counted to him as paid off. But they'll take scripture and twist it. I know that for sure. He said, Cam the King, they have blind faith. The internet ain't helping people being exposed to the truth. The internet can be poison. I've seen so many teaching terrible, incorrect doctrine and masses buying into it because it makes them feel good and they don't have to actively turn from sin. Yeah, I've seen that. He said, at Cam the King 100, tell them sweet nothings usually keep them around and useful. Pretty much. Oh gosh. Rome and U.S. connection is made when you understand Daniel 11. It shows the rise and fall of Rome as a backdrop to the rise and fall of U.S. history will repeat itself when pagan Rome fell. Yeah. And then you got to understand, even where, man, the last video I did on the Patreon where they were admitting, even the occultists were admitting who was the whore of Babylon and how they were working to bring her about and to bring about the apocalypse. And how pretty much, I mean, y'all got to watch it, but Atlantis was inhabited by evil, what they call evil sorcerers. They were following the serpent, and how the United States is the new Atlantis. That's what they're trying to recreate, the new Atlantis. And Atlantis fell because of their wickedness. And we already know that Babylon is going to fall for its wickedness too. Church and state united, creating ecclesiastical Rome. This would happen again in the U.S. with the dissolution of the Constitution. You think that's happening? You think? Well, I can see it happening just because they are ignoring the Constitution. But do you think that they're going to outright dissolve it, or are they just going to keep ignoring it like they've been doing? And the sad part is the average person buys into a lot of the bad stuff being pushed, and most won't go personally and verify the info being spewed out of someone's mouth. I think we're in the fig tree generation, many similarities. I know, I feel like I'm coming upon this comment and I'm just like, I can see it already. I can see what y'all laughing at. I can see it already. Can the King, as much as it's true, life is hard and busy, and the time spare they'd rather use the family, loved ones, friends, relaxing, etc. If you have no reason to research, you won't. I mean, like I said earlier, a lot of people don't want to go down the so-called rabbit holes. They feel like it's a waste of time. They feel like these are just theories. We're just the crazies with the tin hats on. That's pretty much what happened. And this is the one I'm like, oh my goodness, Discord has a huge population of gays. I got off it real quick. See, I didn't know that. I hadn't been on it. That's crazy. But I ain't surprised. Church and state will reunite. Will unite, and this will pave the way for the mark of the beast. It is right in front of us. Oh yeah, it's close. It's very close. They're just finishing their technology right now, and then they're going to push it on the masses. Wait, but what if the 72 women don't want to have sex in Islam heaven? They graping in Islam. What if sex gets old in Islam heaven? What if the 72 women all have attitudes in Islam heaven? The fact that you're calling it Islam heaven is hilarious. But hey, what if? But that's just like, don't the Mormons have something crazy like that too? Where dang, I'm gonna jumble this all up. I'm gonna have to look into it. But they have some kind of planet where all of the souls are, I think. I don't know. It's something about having a whole bunch of, I'm gonna have to look this up, y'all. Oh my goodness. They have a whole bunch of Mormon babies. Like, I don't know. I have to look it up. It's something crazy. Edelson, yeah, I can see that, but I think people get too focused on this life here and don't focus enough on eternity. That's true too. We're not laying up our treasures in heaven. We worrying about earthly things. I used to live close to a Muslim community. Good luck ever finding a rug or mats for your door entrance or any type of carpet for the living room. They buy that stuff up. Ashley's Furniture loves Muslim. I don't even know what that means. Why would they be buying up a whole bunch of furniture and rugs? I guess to like prey on? I don't know. I ain't going there. It's a battle for sure, but most people operate with the understanding that if they're being told something is true, especially when it's from the authority or the news. Yeah. I think hopefully most people are finding out that the news is just paid opposition. Project Mockingbird. Your video on Rome with the College of Pontiffs, etc., was well put together. When you get to see how Daniel in Revelation explains things, even your video will make even more sense to you. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, I like Daniel in Revelation. I start putting that stuff together, but I do want to expound on it more. Edelson, yeah, I've noticed that people will believe just because they're told, so they never think to fact check the information to test it. Just put all their cards in on what's said. Yeah. It's mentioned that slaves were to be treated like brothers in the Bible. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I thought the Whore of Babylon was Sexy Red. She one of them. She one of them. I guess she's just plain whore, not from Babylon, but from south side of some town in America. I know she's gotten quiet lately, but yeah, she was for sure not a good look on the masses. It's easier to live a lie to tell a person. Wait. It's easier to lie to a person than to tell them they're being lied to. It's about being first, not correct. Most people looking for stuff don't even go halfway through first page of Google. Oh, I know. Because if you notice that the first pages of Google are all of the like the debunkers. They're trying to debunk what it is that you're searching for. You definitely got to go through multiple pages for sure. Yes, it will. This is what Revelation 13 is talking about. This is why what we're currently seeing in the government is happening right now in order for the image of the beast to be formed. Yeah. Church and state will unite. That's how the image of the beast is formed. For this to be, the Constitution will be scrapped. Yeah, I definitely think we're getting close to the time. I don't know how much time we got left, but it also seems like laziness is rampant today and instant gratification is the goal. Oh, heck no. I heard this little girl who may have been 10 or 12 years old telling her mom she wanted to be like Sexy Red in the mall. I walked up to the parent and said, "Sorry for your loss. Your children are done for." Yeah, I remember I was actually in church. I don't know if it was Bible study or what it was, but one of the youth pastors was asking around, like, asking this little girl what her favorite song was. And she said, S&M by Rihanna. I said, oh my goodness. It's to pay homage to the day, either ecologically or religiously. Well, I think I remember Walter Vaith talking about that. He has a whole lecture on them turning the Sunday into the Sabbath day. But hey, then the Roman pontiff will claim that this is the day, this is an institution we put in place. Honestly, I thought they already did that. When the scripture says they sought to change the times, I thought they already did that with the calendar. But they got more to go. I don't know, y'all. Okay. That's all music does, promote promiscuity, death, and drugs and death. Mm-hmm. But they have to. They have to. The days of the week are all named after some pagan crap. Yeah, all the pagan gods, Thor and Hermes, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. It makes you wonder, did they even have like names of the days of the week in ancient times, or probably not. Well, no. Well, I don't know if the days of the week had names. Obviously the months did, but I don't remember I don't think I've read any scripture where it talks about the days of the week having names. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to cut off my ears when I first heard someone quote Sexy Red talking about my coochie pink and my booty hole brown. No, and looked to God and said, I'm trying to know what you waiting on. I mean, I think my heart was hurting when I saw the little kids. They were no more than preschoolers. I think they even might have been in a daycare and they were all singing it and they had their hands on their knees, talking about hands on your knees, hands on you. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Imagine. But hey. They have, yes, but they would persuade all to bow to it. Yeah, they're definitely going to. Yep. How do ex-cons and criminals get onto music charts and radio stations convo to be had? Because I don't think that matters. I think as long as you can make good music, it's something that people will listen to or they'll buy and they can make money off it. It doesn't matter what you do in the background. I think we've seen that over and over again. But the same with actors and stuff. There's so many different actors and stuff that have been into some stuff, like stuff people you wouldn't even believe. Like, what's his name? The guy that used to be on, man, I can't even think. I did Home Improvement. What's the main guy on Home Improvement? He used to sell drugs. He was a big time dope dealer. That white man. And he on a wholesome family show. That man was a cocaine dealer. So, you asked her about the African country that has still goes by 13. Oh, really? Months a year instead of 12 months a year. So today they're in the year 2017 or 18. You know what? I think I didn't. I don't know why I didn't read it or watch the video or whatever I saw it on, but I did see something about that. They still go by 13 months a year. Yeah. So our time is all off. Our time is so off. And again, I don't think they want us to know where we're at. I think I said that last week. They don't want us to know where we're at in the timeline because then we would anticipate the Lord's coming. So even the Christian world, unfortunately, is paying homage to the Son unwillingly as well. But why do you say that though? Why do you think that they're paying homage to the Son? I can't believe the crap they make songs about. Yeah, it's just yeah. Again, not to say that we didn't have raunchy songs when I was growing up, but I think it was. I think people knew it was raunchy, and they didn't put it out to the masses. Like you had to buy the album, you had to buy the cassette. They would snatch the video, or we had like BET Uncut, where they would play you know, the videos at night when everybody was supposed to be sleeping. They would never, ever, ever have put it on mainstream TV while, kids were awake, or invite these people to the school and have them rap their song in front of these youth. Never, ever. Okay, last few comments, y'all. Society is a lost cause. Well, we already know that. We know that it all has to come to an end. We know what's going to happen. We know that even if it does get better for a short period of time, it, the it's gonna be broken. The league is gonna be broken. So we just gotta get our spiritual house in order. That's what we need to do. Get our spiritual house in order. If my child was in that preschool class, everybody and the teacher is getting belt to butt and scolded. The scolded part is funny, but for real though. But there's a lot of. Let me just say this. I don't really see too many guys encourage that with their young daughters. Like I've even seen younger, brothers, and they'll see their little sister doing something and they'll be like, "No, absolutely not." But the moms will be cheering it on. So this is where we are. And the government is the biggest dealer of drugs. Yeah, we know. We know. They push it heavy. They push it heavy. I say this because I think you were saying that Jay-Z owns a large part of the prison complex in America, links to the music, making youth angry, homicidal, vengeful, etc. Oh, okay. Um, I almost think they seek these people out. I almost think they do. Or they have some type of, I don't know if they have some type of spirit on them that, like, okay, this dude is going to be bad for the world, but it's going to be good for us. I don't know. But it's sad. I don't know, Cam the King. You said, well, what year is it then? I don't know. I don't know. She said in Africa, they're in 2017 or 2018. So I have no idea. And again, there's so many different calendars. There's a Gregorian calendar, there's a Julian calendar. The Bible has a different calendar. So I don't know what year it is. I do not know. You're right. Walter Vaith lectures will help you make even more connections. For example, his lectures on the secret behind secret societies, revolution, tyrants, and wars and Islamic connection. Yeah, he's really good. Matter of fact, if I think a lot of his stuff is on archive.org. If you guys are really into reading and all that kind of stuff, or even if you need audio material for free, archive.org has a lot of books that you can get on there and read for free. I get a lot of research done on there. So I like if you can't make it to a library or you don't want to have to pay to order books or download from Kindle and all that stuff, they have a lot of stuff. The Cotton Eye Joe was the dirtiest song back in the day. Now look at the crap they got. Where did you come from? Where did you go? I don't know what that song is about. To be honest, I only know where did you come from? Where'd you go? Dun 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 dun. Cotton Eye Joe. That's a dirty song. Dang, I did not even know. Pay attention to the first angel's message of Revelation 14. Okay, I'll have to reread it. The raunchy songs you had when you were growing up were more tasteful and sensible, probably classy compared to stuff these days. I thought they were. I thought they were. But even just going back and looking at some of the, do y'all remember this? I don't know how old you are, but do y'all remember the song "Funky Wife Tootsie"? It was two children. It was a brother and a sister. And when I tell you that song went off when I was young, I went back to look at that video in my older age. I'm like, these little kids was whopping it. I mean, whop, whop, whop. And it was grown folk in the video. It was just how in the heck was this allowed? They was dropping it low. They was backing it up. Excuse my language. They was coochie popping. It was rough. So I can't believe can't believe that's what we were watching. All the towns that decriminalized drugs now look like flea markets. Mm. I mean, heck, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And people knew what the crack era and all that stuff did to their cities, and they still continue with it. I would take In Those Jeans from Genuine than anything today, and I was 5 when that first came out. Yeah, that was definitely. I don't want to use the word wholesome, but in compared to what we got going on, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just like the actor you said from Home Improvement, he was a big time pusher, and he said the government made him act. Oh, he would have to go back to jail, kind of like the guy from Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, for real? That's messed up. I didn't know that they had threatened him with jail. Oh my goodness. See, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's a shame. He said it was okay. A lot of times I struggle to figure out what day it is. Oh, I know, me too. We ask me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what today is. I have to look at my phone. Mm-mm. Absolutely. He said, fear God, give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him who made the heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of the water. Yep. What he said, if you get to understand that verse, you see why I say the Christian world today is involved in sun worship. Um, mm, I guess I'm confused about the Christian world. I guess that's where I'm hung up. I remember being out in public, that song would start playing and folks would start breaking out doing the Cotton Eye Joe like good little robots. I mean, I thought there was a line dance, to it. I didn't know that it wasn't a wholesome. I didn't know it was a wholesome thing. So I thought it was just a regular. I thought they were talking about a one-eyed man, like literally, like his eyes. Listen to Revelation 13:3, and all the world marveled after the beast and said, "Who is like unto the beast, and who can make war with her?" Yeah, coupled with 12:9, the dragon Satan, which deceived the whole world. This verb is imperfect tense, past, present, future. No, I agree. Um, I agree. That's why I'm always exposing the serpent. I'm always exposing the serpent. Every time I see him, I put him on the big screen. He said most people have been so desensitized they can see all the crazy and not think anything of it. Yeah, but yeah, because they put it in front of your face. So, and I remember back in the day, they used to have this thing called Faces of Death, where you could literally see just people dying on, camera and photos, and they took it away for good reason, and now it's back. Like you can be on IG and they'll have a video of somebody. I'm like, wow, are we really watching this? Are we really watching this? Mm-mm. You said getting low, backing it up, pee popping. Ma'am, I thought you were married. I am. My husband know me. We've known each other since we were 14 years old. He knows me. So, he knows. But that's what the song was doing. That's what the video was doing. Hmm. Coupled with Revelation. Oh yeah, I already read that. I read that. Ancient human were done worshiping the sun and the moon and fertility gods. Yeah. Yep, yep. But they saw it as a source of the life because it's the heat and I mean, hey, instead of worshiping the person, the one who made the sun, which is weird, but hey. God's elect wouldn't be deceived by the beast. Nope. We see it. It's really just going to be about how do we keep from having to bow to it when everyone is made to do it. Oh no, I get it all. Like I said, I get it all. When you say Christians are worship, I mean I get it, but when I think of sun worship, I think of the literal sun, especially when you're talking about like I was speaking about I can't talk earlier with Mithras, when they're actually worshiping the sun because they feel like it gives life and heat and warmth. So when you say they're worshiping the sun, I'm like, okay, but there are some people that accuse Christians of worshiping the sun because of Jesus being the sun. And so that's where I'm confused. But no, I totally get Daniel and Revelation. He said, well, the verse says all the world. Yeah. This includes the elect. That's why in Matthew 25, the midnight cry had to be given in order to wake up the elect. I agree. I think we're all okay. I think I get what you're saying. You said whatever happened to Barry Obama. I think he's still around. I don't know what he's doing, but I think honestly, I think he's playing his hand in the background. I remember when everybody thought that he was, and I'm not saying he's not, I don't know who it's going to be, but I remember everybody thought that Obama was the Antichrist. He one of them for sure. But when they would always bring up the verse where it says that I saw Satan falling like lightning from heaven. And I believe lightning in that verse is Barak. But we'll see. What is the spiritual significances to them changing all parts of our walk of life? For example, the days being named after false gods. I mean, just so that we can worship false gods. Because their job is to make us, like Troy is saying, their job is to make us worship the beast. And by worshiping the beast, doing whatever he has told them to do, and I talked about this in the last video on Patreon, they need to do what he's asking them to do, whether it's sacrifices, mostly sacrifices, because their job is to bring about, okay, let me start over. Do y'all remember there's supposed to be a battle of Armageddon? And Satan is supposed to be gathering and collecting his army, and God is supposed to be gathering and collecting his army. That's what they're doing. They are gathering their army. But in order to get people on their side, they have to cause you to worship the beast. Because when you worship, just comments, when you're not worshiping the beast, when you're worshiping the beast, you're not worshiping God. And so what is that pathway? That pathway is confusion. That pathway is lack of knowledge. That pathway is lack of wisdom. Everything that leads to death. They're trying to get you on the path to death. And so by putting all these idols in front of your face, whether it's like we talked about earlier, Ishtar, what the goddess of prostitution. And what's really big and popular now, like we said, the women are prostituting themselves. They want money just for you to get their number. They want money just for you to take them out. We got OnlyFans, and it's not the women. It's not just the women on OnlyFans. It's the men on OnlyFans too. But all this stuff is being promoted for a reason. Is to get you to walk down the pathway to death. Even calling out these gods' names, I don't think it's really serious just by saying it. Oh, like saying Thor is an issue, but whatever Thor stands for, they want you to like him. That's why they make movies about him, and he's this big, nice, strong guy. He's got this hammer. He's able to, that's what they want us to do. So yeah, all of us, yeah, it's just to turn us away from God. There was a funny documentary about the group of people who worshipped a piece of bread they claimed Jesus held. They had, I'm thinking, nah, that would have molded into pieces by now. I know. Well, I think I vaguely remember that. I vaguely remember that. That's yeah. It's just, and again, because they're taking the words of scripture and they're turning it into a mystical experience. The same way the Catholics are doing with the transubstantiation, where they feel like they can literally change God into the bread so they can eat him. Just because the Bible says, he that eats of this flesh and drinks of my blood, you're going to be with me. You'll be in me. That they turn that into a literal thing. So I'm not surprised. People taking no bread. Literally, God's elect can't be deceived, so that's not entirely true. I want to say, yeah, I'm trying to think of what the actual. I hate that I closed my laptop, but I think it says that even. Dang. I know what you mean. Nope. That even the elect would be deceived. I got to think of what that scripture is. I hate that I don't know that one by heart. Let me grab it. Okay, while I'm doing that, I will read the rest of these. I know we got to get off of here. It's getting late. The majority of the Christian world is keeping Sunday, not knowing that Rome instituted it and claims it boldly in their catechism. Yeah. And that's the one thing, at least, I don't know everything that the Seventh-day Adventists believe, but that's one thing that they definitely hold on to, that the Saturday is the Sabbath. The Saturday is the Sabbath. Oh, for false Christ and false prophets shall arise and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Okay, yeah. So it says, even if it were possible. But we'll be able to see that ain't none of Jesus. There's a funny music video of Obama as a cardboard cutout with that song "I Get Around," and a bunch of homosexual men are passing around Obama's cardboard cutout. Oh my goodness. They're passing around his cardboard cutout. Oh my goodness. That is just terrible. That's just terrible. I mean, yeah, but wait, I mean, yeah, but I don't know what that word is. Oh, I mean, is there a more specific answer? For example, spiritual alchemy of sorts or something? I more than likely, yes. More than likely, yes. I mean, I can try to find out what that is exactly, but more than likely, because that's their MO. I will try to find an answer though. The significance is explained in Daniel 7, where he speaks of changing times and laws done by the little horn. Yeah. We don't even know how deeply we have been deceived. The Bible is saying it, and we can't see it. Oh no, I agree. Mm, I agree. That's why I think. I mean, That's why I believe in the scriptures rather than, oh, we got to listen to the church fathers, like, heck no. Thor is the anglicized version of Nimrod, Thor's Day. Yep. And the Anglican church, yeah, we ain't gonna touch on them tonight. I'm not surprised that they would take it literally. These are the same people that probably drink babies achrome to stay young. Blood has so much life into it. It says in the Bible. Yeah. And the reason why I'm definitively saying yeah is because I have looked up, and magisterial privilege is where, can I say this on this? Is where every pope has to sacrifice children. And we know that they don't just sacrifice it for no reason. They put that blood in the chalice and they drink it. So if it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived, something to that effect. Yeah. But let's see here. Sunday, Venerable Day of the Sun. Monday, Tuesday, that's Nimrod's mother. Oh, Woden's Day. Yep. I remember that. Woden's Day. And Woden was from the Celtic North. There's the same where Father Christmas comes from. Woden, the god Woden that they worship. The verse says, "Unless those days be shortened, even the very elect will be deceived." Bye, Edelson. See you next time. Um, Hold on, let me see something real quick. I think that verse, I thought that one came from. No, I think that verse when he says that the days have to be shortened, that's because um, pretty much everybody's gonna perish, even the elect, if he doesn't come back when he comes back. I think that's what that particular verse is tied to. Um, okay, many don't realize that the first Christians were Sabbath keepers. Rome exalted Sunday and passed Sunday laws to enforce it. That's why today we have 2-day weekend. Mm-mm. Yeah, well, we'll find out soon enough. The Pope does as Lucifer does, eats the life of his children. Pretty much. But just like, I'm sorry if is it Les Muses? I hope I say that right. But just like you were saying, they feel like they're gonna stay forever young. But y'all, we have ran our mouths. I've been running my mouth. But it's 10:30. I know it's getting late. Okay, let me use. Okay, good. Um, with us. Thank you to all the supporters. Just every way possible. Whether you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing. Sorry, you're coming to join the lives. Whether you support me on the Patreon, all that is greatly appreciated. I thank you so much. What do I have coming up next? I have God is dropping. Hopefully here this week. That's my goal, to get that going this week. I want to be able to get our question and answer Bible study going here soon as well. I know that a lot of people are hoping and waiting for that. I am too. Let's see here. I feel like there was one other thing that I wanted to note. Yeah, I'm not sure, but those are two things definitely that I have coming up. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed tonight. You said, when Moses built sanctuary in the wilderness, the doors to the outer court faces the west, so you enter the court, your back would be facing the east. Yeah. Oh, the Discord. Yes, thank you, Elson. I will try to see if that Discord is up. That way we can at least, you don't have to type so much. You can actually send voice notes and things like that. Because like I said, I want it to be an interactive question and answer. That way we can all learn together and read together. So that's going to be coming up next. I don't know. You're going to have to ask Islam. I don't know if there's STDs in Islam heaven. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I will make a list of the videos I pretty much have coming up. I think somebody said they really wanted to get into the Hollow Earth. So I want to get that. I felt like I might have skipped over that one. So I definitely want to get that going. I'll look into Hollow Earth a little bit more and make a video. Oh, and then I said that I would do the breakdown of Joe Rogan's debate with, please forgive me, I don't remember his name, but I will try to do a breakdown of that soon as well. Okay. Let me know any other videos you want me to do, whether you email me or, write it in the comments, or you join on the Patreon and let me know, because I know a lot of people, they post, we have conversations over there. You said, how about the ice wall? Well, from what I understand, the ice wall has a dome on it connected to it. You got to watch my cloning video. I think it's the second one. It's something about Hitler. Please forgive me, I do not remember the title, but I talked about the ice wall in there. And they said that they could not get, when they tried to fly their planes over the ice wall to get to the plush land that they saw on the other side, that their planes broke in pieces because that there was a glass there that they couldn't get through. So I don't know how else you would get to over the ice wall. So I don't know. All right, y'all. I hope you have a really good weekend, a really good week. And I will see y'all on next week, God willing. Okay, bye.